Well, I just got a notification on my phone that we're live, so I guess it's already there. It goes now. It says, "What is good, everyone? Welcome to Count the Bucket. I'm your host, Michael, or co-host, I should say, with Nick here as well. How we doing today, Nick?
Not too bad, man. It's been a pretty crazy day as far as college hoops, but I'm definitely interested in really covering all this trade stuff that happened around the NBA.
Yes, it was honestly, I'd say this is probably the most I've paid attention to in a trade deadline, trying to predict
Right.
where everyone was going, just seeing what was going on and seeing what's going to play out with these teams. So I've been more entwined with NBA this year than I probably have in the past 5 years, and I don't know why. I think it's because I'm a little bit of a Miami Heat fan, just because all the Kentucky players that go there, and it's been fun the past 2 years to be watching them again, getting enthused with that. But as you guys can see, we're missing someone on here with us as usual, is Amber, who is taking her staycation vacation. Hopefully she's watching us, and hopefully she'll say we're doing a good job. But we will try to carry our own on this and see what we can do best with this. And I'll tell you, too, on my show, Backstop Banter, Nick, I'm actually where you are on the screen. It's really weird seeing myself on this left side, but I'll try to not let that hinder me any here.
Right.
But before we get going in here, as always, we need to pay the bills. What helps us out with be able to do the things that we do is our sponsors. And, of course, you can see them scrolling down the bottom there. We're going to start off with, I think I've got it where I can share this. Let me try to pull this up here. We've got I came prepared on this, but yet it's minimized there, our Patreon. And, of course, if you know anything about Patreon, it is, you're looking for the cat. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm using that little code. Sorry. My kids are trying to go to sleep. My wife is in the room next door in the living room there, and I took her cover to come in here because we had the heat off, and it's getting a little cold. I got my feet on it, and she's like, I need the cover. Sorry about that, honey. But live TV, right? But the Patreon, as you guys know, it's a membership levels. We have different qualities that when you go here, as you can see, the Unwrapped fan is just $1 per month, and that basically gets you just in with us, and you're supporting us and just saying we appreciate what you do. Here's $1, and obviously that's just $12 for the whole year, and it really does go a long way. You'd be surprised how many people, if they donate, how much that helps us, guys. We really, every one of us pretty much does this for free, for fun. It's a hobby. It's a hobby that we love and we're dedicated to. So even just doing the Unwrapped fan, $1 would appreciate so much and help us out a lot. And then, of course, the second tier, we have the $5 Unwrapped family, where you can actually get 10% off the Patreon code with our Teespring shop. And also you get access to the 24 Patreon on the Discord chat, which is going crazy all the time. We've got the gambling. We even have movies and music chats going on with there, just all kinds of different things. It's really fun just to be active with that. And also, I want to say there's a discount code for the shop. I already said that, but you can also, I think, get an Amazon card there for $10 a month as well. And the big one, which is the VIP, it's $10 a month. You get 20% off with the Patreon code for the Teespring shop. And, of course, the access with the Discord, but you can actually make connections and talk with us. The other one with I think it's the $5 a month, you're actually just in there, can see what we're talking about, but you can't get involved and interact with us. I know it kind of sounds crazy about that, but I would go ahead and pay that extra $5 a month just so you can chat with us. And we like to hear from you guys, the fans' point of view on different things, what we do differently and what we don't even see that you all have a different perspective of as well. Also, each month we are giving away some type of memorabilia or merch that you would love to get a part of. Last month, the winner was Amber, who's not on the show today. She won, I see it's Chargers, the wide receiver, Evans, Keenan Allen jersey. And this month it's actually David Montgomery jersey from the Bears. Garrett obviously is hoping to win it. And I think next month for April, we should be doing that drawing very soon, I would assume. But for next month, for April, I think it's going to be some type of baseball drawing as well. So be looking out for that. Obviously, baseball is starting up in less than 7 days, I think. I'm super excited about that. So that has our Patreon out of the way. Let me clear this out and go on to our next. We'll go ahead and go with our Teespring since we were talking about the Patreon bet or the Patreon discount on there. I think I can get this pulled up. I'll try to be brief on this one because I actually have it loaded for something else as I'm trying to chat with you and stall just a tad bit. Let me go back to share screen. Here we go. The reason I'm trying to stall a little bit, and I guess I'll go ahead and hit this promo as well. is our Unwrapped Sports Network has generously gave us a promo for the Backstop Banter where you can get 25% off your whole purchase, but there is a minimum of what you can buy. And the promo code for that is Home Run. As you can see, I've got mine already here. I'm going to buy a couple shirts for me, the wife, the 2 kids, and just have some extra on the side to give away to certain people, just people who want them. I would like to do some kind of promo where I can give that out to. But 25% gets you off of that with the home run code. I think that ends very soon, but I've got that pulled up where I'm going to make that purchase as soon as it shows over, and I can remember meant to do it yesterday. There's also a promo code of 10% off, and the word for that is dugout. And the reason for those 2 different ones is the 25%, you actually have to spend an X amount of money to get it. The higher the percentage off, the more you got to spend. So some people may not be able to spend more if your stimulus check is not coming in just quite as fast. So therefore, you may need to use the 10% off. So that's got our Teespring now. Also, one thing that my mama would kill me if she heard me presenting here is mybookie.ag. She don't want me to gamble at all. I can understand that. But go to mybookie.ag and you can use our promo code USN100. They've already got stuff going on for the Sweet 16 that we talked about a second ago. NBA, the MVPs, which we're also going to get into as well, and just everything betting on there. And I'm going to go ahead and say we have Unwrapped Sports guys that are all focused on betting. I am not your guy for that. I just try to learn the lingo. Just found out this year what prop bets meant, so I'm not that person. Now, after you win all this money and you have all this new gear, you need to go to rxhemp.com and use our promo code rxhemp-USN. And that will give you all kinds of the CBD creams as far as your muscle relaxers, your cools, and your heating for that. And it'll help out with all those everyday needs. Dick, did I do okay?
You did great. You did better than I probably would. So,
yeah, well, I do appreciate that. I'm going to be honest with you. I was sweating doing that. Now that we got that done, we're just going to have fun and kind of talk.
Yeah.
NBA Thursday was the deadline. Everyone was probably looking at their phones like crazy. I'm sure Amber was on Twitter like nonstop, seeing what all was going on. And it was entertaining. Some trades I felt like was kind of crazy. Some trades were kind of neat. So let's see here. Actually, this is how prepared I am. I say prepared. Let me see here. I think I got this. You know what? I've already messed up, didn't I? I went straight to the trades, didn't I? I told you we was going to do MVP race first. So let's go ahead and do my pop-up here. MVP top list. And I say list because I wanted to do 3, I think I sent. But if you want to give me 5, what is your top 5? Of course, with LeBron James' injury, how long he's going to be out. Just want to hear your take on this and who you've got right now.
All right. So it's kind of tough, though, man, because like I kind of made a list like that didn't have LeBron and Embiid on there just because of their injuries. But I'm still going to add them in anyway. So my top MVP is obviously Joel Embiid. You know, the season that he's having, you know, the way that he's been focused and really being aggressive on the offense, or technically on both ends of the court, has been just phenomenal. I think, you know, having Doc Rivers on the sidelines has really helped him utilize his full potential, especially being back in the basket. And, you know, and Philadelphia is really benefiting off of that. I mean, they're number 1 in the East, and somehow, you know, that they're still continuing that even with Embiid's absence. And, you know, once he comes back, I do expect him to, like, you know, come back at the same form and same fashion. Number 2, people may hate me for this, but I might have to go James Harden, man. I might have to go there. I was going to say Jokic, but Denver has been really kind of inconsistent over this past season, so I might have to go with Harden on this one. I mean, ever since, you know, his trade to Brooklyn, I mean, he's just been the guy for them, especially with the absence of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? He's averaging around 25 and 11 assists on the year, and he's really just been the X factor, you know, helping these other guys get better, like Jeff Green, like Joe Harris, TLC, like, you know, all these other guys, really helping them, you know, get involved in the offense and really helping them like become better role players. So yeah, I mean, just looking at Harden's numbers throughout the season, I think he should definitely be in the MVP list. 3rd, I'm gonna go the Joker, just because I mean he's just amazing to me. You know, he puts up ridiculous numbers. I mean, I know we talked about Harden putting up ridiculous numbers, but Jokic puts up some crazy numbers. Like, he'll have a game where he has like 27, 19, and 17 as a center, as a technical point center. You know what I'm saying? So it's just remarkable. Jokic is honestly one of my favorite players in the NBA today. And, you know, he's really helping Denver keep afloat in that Western Conference standings. Number 4, I'll go LBJ. I'm gonna go LeBron. 18th season, 36 years old, still playing at a high level. I mean, the ankle injury is, an unfortunate situation, but I don't expect him to like come back like anything less of what he was. So, LeBron's obviously going to take this time to really continue to rehab and continue to train and everything, and hopefully he'll be back in tip-top shape. Number 5, that's going to be the tough one. It's tough because let me see. You got Giannis, you got Donovan Mitchell in Utah. I might just have to go Giannis with that number 5. I mean, he's averaging a double-double as well. And, I mean, he's really been the X factor for Milwaukee this year, even though they had their inconsistencies on the defensive end throughout the first part of the season. But coming back into the second half of the season after the All-Star break, they played pretty well. So, yeah, those are my top 5, and I'll have to have Giannis slide into that 5th spot.
Well, I think your list is pretty good. The only thing I would change is probably the Joker and Harden right there,
okay.
Just because I kind of agree with, and again, I've said numerous times, James Harden, I've hated all his life pretty much in the NBA. But this year, I think his career is changing for him, and I like it. And the reason why I would put Joker over it is because every category that stat that they have, he's number 1.
Oh, yeah.
And that he's doing it from the center. Like in the NBA now, the center position is pretty much protect the rim and dunks on alley-oops, and that's basically it. So he's doing so much more from that center position that as almost you've got to be 7'2" and can fly out of a gym, and he's like 7'1", can't hardly jump at all, but yet he's got passing range like he is a point guard. So I would say he's number 1 just because I think, too, Denver, even Jamal Murray, as we've talked before, is not having the best career or best year this year. So I think that kind of helps him even more. Harden, by far, I think, has improved this year of what he used to do. So I have them as my 1-2. I'm only saying Joel Embiid not at my 1 or 2 because he is hurt, but I have him at 3 right now. And I would have Giannis at 4, then LeBron at 5, just because personally, Giannis, I feel like has less talent around him. And I know that's crazy, but I mean, Anthony Davis is no one to be like, oh, he's just the number 2 guy. Let's be honest. So that's my take on it. And we've got some comments from here. Of course, it would be Amber if we can get it to show up. There it goes. Giannis, Joker, Dame, Harden, and Mitchell.
Man, I forgot about Dame, man. Dame has had a really good year, especially like considering like the injury to CJ McCollum and how he's been able to keep that team afloat. So yeah, Dame is definitely in that list.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Amber. Even when you're not here, you're giving us great points. Totally forgot about Dame on that. Health matters,
right.
And Joel.
She's right. She's definitely right.
I agree. I 100% agree with that.
That's the reason why it's so tough, because I mean both of them were having such good years, and now that they're hurt, and now it's like the list has to be changed like over again. So it's so difficult.
I think if both of them would have stayed healthy, it was Joel's to lose, don't you? Embiid was just playing great this year.
Definitely.
And he's another player last year that I couldn't stand, just to be honest, because he has the talent. Everyone knew it was there, but it was always like he was just in a way a quitter, or he always got hurt. And I hate to say it, but it's almost like he was a wine baby. Like something went his way. It's like, oh, my thumbnail broke and I'm hurt. I'm out for 5 months. So I'm glad he's turned the corner. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, like just looking at Embiid the last 2 years, like I've been so upset with him because like we know how good he is. We know how skilled he is. Like if you ask me, Joel Embiid is the best scoring center in the NBA, and I mean I know a lot of people may debate that you could put obviously Jokic in that conversation, you could put guys like Karl Anthony Towns, but Joel Embiid possibly is possibly the best scoring big man in the NBA just because of like the way that he's able to get to the basket, the way that he's able to shoot, and like the way he's able to have his footwork. So whenever I see him like last season, I want to say like when they got swept by Boston, he's settling for 3-pointers. He's not really aggressive. We're looking at him and we're criticizing him like, yo, what are you doing? Like, like you always claim that you are the best big and nobody can defend you, but you're not showing it at the highest level. Definitely, Amber. I definitely agree to that. But yeah, I mean, and also, I mean that might. Yep, I was about to get into that, Amber. Yeah, yes, I mean, like Embiid was very kind of, I wouldn't say like heavy, but you could tell like he wasn't like in the best shape possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he definitely came into this year with a new mindset. And like I said, also Doc Rivers has utilized him to like his like highest potential. So you definitely have to give credit to Doc Rivers as well.
Oh, yeah. Now, Amber knows I've commented on Doc Rivers. I don't think he's that great of a coach. Don't hate on me, I know. But I have to say, I think Joel Embiid has really benefited most from Doc Rivers coming along. So I think that gave him a new fire to play for, and it showed this year how it's going. So hopefully he could come back and keep on going and still win that MVP, because I would actually like for him to win it and then lose in the tournament. But that's okay. Anything else you want to say on the MVP talk?
So per se, like if Embiid does come back and he's like just not playing well, like who do we see taking that trophy then? Per se,
at this point, to me, Joker. I mean, there was something I want to say it was on Bleacher Report that had like 10 categories, like, and I'm not even exaggerating hardly any. Like there was 10, and he was first in. I'm like, oh my goodness, like that team depends on him. And I've always my life. I'm not so much it's the first place team's best player. I think that's dumb. I don't understand why that's ever been a thing. I always thought Anthony Davis should have won it when he was with New Orleans many years, because you took him off that team. They were probably losing
without
3/4 of their game. But for some reason, in all sports, it seems like it's the first place team's best player. Like, look, even to me, LeBron James definitely is a great player, is one of the greatest. I'm not saying he's better than Michael Jordan, but I'm saying he's up there. To me, it's hard to say that he's the most valuable player because you still have Anthony Davis on that team. That's just how I've always been on that. So I think Joker comes off that team. That team is not even making the playoffs this year. So that's why I'm one-upping him. Harden off with the Brooklyn Nets, I mean the Eastern All-Stars, that team is still going to be pretty good.
Technically, yeah.
So, I mean, basically, if you lose James Harden, one of your other players is probably going to win the MVP. That's how good this team is. So, I mean, even Kevin Durant, the best 7-foot scorer we've ever seen, and I truly think that, no matter who you put in that category, if he's healthy all year, we know he would probably be the one that's winning it right now. But even he's missed time on that. So that's just me. I think Joker deserves it for this team and the way he's carrying them. Now, who do I think would win it? I think it would probably go to Harden.
Yeah, probably so. I think it probably will go to Harden just because you know his circumstance of not having KD and Kyrie for most of the time that he's really been there. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like when you're looking at Jokic, like he still has Jamal Murray, still has Michael Porter Jr., and then they just got Aaron Gordon as well. So you know, for Harden to do this like without his two superstar teammates, you know, is also remarkable. But I'm gonna add in another name who would possibly be deserving of like being in the MVP conversation, but because his team is not really that good, he's not gonna be in it. Zion Williamson, in my opinion. Like Zion's having a really good year scoring wise. He's shooting, I want to say he's shooting like 60% from the field. So yeah, I mean, like if the Pelicans were like say per se like 6 in the West, I feel like he would probably be in the MVP conversation.
Mm-hmm. I would, and it's probably the same thing with Anthony Davis. It's not a team that's sexy, as they say, so he gets looked over with him. Here's Amber's got some more comments. Giannis is just as valuable for his right, exactly. And even Harden, I like this one. He may eliminate himself from this list when the others come back. I mean, that's a very good point.
That's a good point.
I think that when they all come back and they're all there, unless Kyrie just wants to take another birthday vacation or something, I think he averages a triple-double, you know, because he's learned to pass this year. And that's why I absolutely have fallen in love with Harden this year. Left-handed, like me, it's wonderful to see that in action. But, okay, sounds good. And I like Zion added to that. I think he's still a little bit young, but it's probably more for me because it's not a team I see a lot on TV. You know, that's one of those, you got to look through the satellite to find that actual game. When it's like LeBron's team, no matter who he plays for, you go to TNT, it's on there.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. I think she just put another comment. Kyrie had a baby, or his fiance did. I thought he was having a birthday, so he took off for a little bit. But, I mean, if he's having a baby, 100%, I'm glad players and men do that because I'm a father of 3. My side story here, my wife just took my 3 kids to go take Easter pictures. And they were all dressed up and looked all pretty. And I got to see through pictures because I was at work. I said, I hate missing these things. I know it's crazy, but they're 4-4-3, and I'm missing it. So kudos to him on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty.
Congrats to Kyrie, man. Congrats to Kyrie. I didn't even know that. I didn't know that he was having a child. So congrats to him.
I didn't either. I thought I seen something that it was his birthday week, so he was taken off, but it could have been sarcasm on that. Let's see here. I'm trying to pull up my notes here, what I kind of wrote down a little bit, because I want to talk a little bit to lead into this. All right, here we go. So on Thursday, when the deadline happened, there were a total of 16 trades, 23 teams involved, 46 players on the NBA roster involved, and it was the most in 35 years. So with that, let's go ahead and get into our trade deadline winners and losers. And I wrote some of them down here. Just to name a few, Portland got Norman Powell, and the Raptors got Gary Trent Jr. and Rodney Hood. What do you think on that, winner or loser or both? What do you think?
It's tough for me, man, because like Norman Powell's a champion. Norman Powell's a great 3-point shooter. So for Portland getting out of that, they're adding another fantastic perimeter scorer. But I just don't like the fact that it had to be Gary Trent Jr. Like, when you look at the season that he's had, basically, like, okay, for instance, like, let's look back to the bubble, the way that he played in the bubble, and now into this season. With him being basically, to me, being like the second best player on Portland when CJ McCollum was hurt next to Damian Lillard.
Right.
And he's one of those guys that, like, it's like you look at the way Jeremy Grant played in Denver and how he went to Detroit and became a number one option. That's how I see Gary Trent Jr. becoming, because I feel like his ceiling is that high. So I didn't necessarily understand Portland getting rid of what you may call like their third best player. I mean, that might be debatable. You might say Melo, or you might say another guy. And
okay, that makes sense. His birthday was the day after.
Yeah, okay. Definitely. But yeah, I mean, I just didn't understand it from Portland's perspective to get rid of him. But at the end of the day, it is a business. I know Masai Ujiri was really like, probably hounding like, these GMs to, like, send him a good offer. So, I'm not mad at it from Toronto's side, but Portland, I just kind of don't understand it.
And actually, I'm going to kind of go with what Amber said here. He's an upgrade from Junior. I actually was watching something. I want to say it might have been The Jump with Rachel Nichols on there, and had one of the guests was talking about it and said the difference between the two is Junior is developing now and he's inconsistent. With Powell, you get the same player, but just more consistent now, ready to play. So it's almost like, hey, we can't wait for this guy to develop to what he should be. We need the guy now. We're in it, committed to this year. So I understood that, and I thought that made a lot of more sense.
I guess I can get that, but I personally feel like Gary Trent Jr.'s ceiling is like so high, like you would like bet on a guy like that to keep around for like a good couple years, especially as Dame is getting older, CJ's getting older. Like you can have like that third guy and Gary Trent Jr. to really carry the team on some nights. Whenever he's able to, hopefully evolve his game into more of like a shot creator and everything. But just my opinion.
I seen something too. I think it was on NBA Twitter. It said that Junior got traded 41 days into his third season with Portland, and Senior got traded 41 days into his third season with Portland. Like both of them got traded on the same day in their career. Alrighty, let's see here. We'll move on to my next trade I've got on here, and I'm not going to try to act like I'm biased at all on this, but the Heat got Victor Oladipo, and the Rockets got Avery Bradley and Kelly Olynyk. And I want to say there was a draft pick in with that as well, but I didn't write that down.
I don't 100% remember.
Winner, loser?
I
want to say it was a second round.
I'm gonna say it's probably a win-win for both sides. I mean, like for Miami, Avery Bradley wasn't really getting a lot of minutes anyway, so I could see the reason why to trade him. And when you look at from the Rockets' perspective, Victor Oladipo obviously was not playing well whatsoever, and it really seemed like he didn't really want to be there, like in the midst of the Rockets' struggles and kind of like like their 20-game losing streak and everything. So you could tell that team was not going in the right direction that he may have expected them to. So I think going into Miami, being in part of that Heat culture, who was really looking to bounce back after coming off of an NBA Finals appearance and also struggling throughout the first part of the season, I really think that he really elevates their chances of possibly like getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, just because like the way that he's able to play on both sides of the floor. So I definitely think that it's a good trade for Miami, and for Houston, I think it's a pretty solid trade as well. I
know it seemed like Houston was definitely trying to go for some draft picks, and I'm trying to mentally keep a note of this because Magic seemed like they loaded up. I didn't write it down or even look into it a lot, but I just seen a lot of Magics getting picks. So Rockets will release Bradley, and he will go elsewhere. That is an interesting take
That's
on that.
That's kind of what I expected. That's kind of what I expected. I mean, especially since, the team is really like basically, I mean, let's just say, I mean, the team is trash, honestly. So I mean, like, with Avery, honestly, like with Avery Bradley being like, up in age, I mean, I'm sure that a contender will be able to use him.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking, I really thought John Wall would end up being talked to as far as trades with the injury he had. Even though he's coming back having a good season, he's starting to get old as well. Let's see.
That's definitely what I think should happen. I mean, especially with the season that the Rockets are having. I mean, just get rid of all, like, the older pieces and just, start fresh. I mean, they got a great talented power forward in Christian Wood, and then they also just got Kevin Porter Jr. from Cleveland. Like, building around those young guys will really help them for the future.
Oh yeah, actually, it was the Rockets and Heat trade was a 2022 first round swap. My buddy actually just texted me and let me know he's a big Heat fan. He's what's kind of got me going into loving the Heat again. What would be interesting, Amber, I'm going to say this to you, is Heat have 2 open spots on the roster right now because I really felt like they were trying to make a push for Aldridge. We won't get into that yet. And then they had another spot there where I think they'll probably try to push for Cousins too. How crazy would it be if they dropped Avery Bradley and they actually came back and re-signed him on the roster after that? That would be hilarious, I think. The Rockets won tonight.
The Rockets won tonight?
Heat. Gotta look that up.
I ain't gonna lie. I've honestly rarely watched any NBA games since March Madness.
The only reason why I'm even into the NBA this week is because of the trade deadline.
Trade deadline.
Yeah. Let's see here. NBA scores. Spurs are up big on the Bulls, 105-88. Let's see your Celtics and Thunder's in a close game. Knicks beat the Bucks. Yeah, Rockets beat
Knicks beat the Bucks.
Knicks beat the Bucks 102-96.
Good win.
A nice win for them. Mm-hmm. That's a confident win right there. So yeah, I mean the Rockets win today, but a lot of these teams are losing their players, waiting for players to come in. So it's kind of crazy on that.
Definitely. I mean, my only concern with Houston as of right now was like, what is going to be like what is the thing with Steven Silas? Like, are they going to possibly get rid of him after this year, or are they going to keep him? Because I think he really came into this season with with unprecedented situations. You know what I'm saying? Like with the whole Harden drama that went around, and then obviously trading for him. And, not really, and also Christian Wood's injury was a major problem as well. And, the team not really having terrific rotation players, their 20-game losing streak. I mean, I feel like he really came into the season with very unprecedented circumstances. And I would honestly hope that the Rockets would take another few years with him and keep going. Definitely, Amber. I definitely agree with that. But yeah, I definitely would hope. I would definitely hope that he would keep his job after this season, just because with everything that went on, and hopefully that he can get them back on the right track. Because he's been working how long? 20 years to get this coaching opportunity. So I would really hope that he would keep it going forward. I definitely agree with that, Amber. I definitely agree with that. But it's a nasty world. Sometimes
it really is, and even thinking, because again in Kentucky where I live, all the fans or all the players I know, basically, well, I don't know them, you know what I'm saying. Cousins who signed there, you think, hey, this is going to be a year where John Wall Cousins can play again. This is kind of neat, and it seemed like 5 games in, we're going to go away from Cousins. This Rocket team just from the beginning didn't have a chance anyways. It's a weird year for them. I think he has a COVID trump card for this year and should get a pass. Looking at our next team, we've got a trade. Celtics trade for Evan Ford. I never say this name right because I don't have that.
Fournier. I want to.
There we go.
Fournier. Yeah.
Sounds good to me. And the Magics get 2 second-round picks and Jeff Teague. What do you think on that? Winners, losers, or tied?
I'm honestly kind of upset with Orlando during this whole trade deadline. Honestly, I mean, I get it. The team's not going in the direction, and they got a lot of veteran players that they need to get rid of. But I would have honestly asked for more, particularly in the Vucevic trade. But trading one of their valuable players for what was it, like two second round picks, I want to say.
2 seconds round and Jeff
second round picks and Jeff Teague. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I just feel like, you would probably ask for like some better pieces back, to help build for the future. I mean, in all honesty, like I don't think anyone sees Jeff Teague being on the team. I'm honestly not mad at the trade because I mean Fournier is a valuable piece, but like I do agree. Like I don't think it really moves the needle for Boston as far as like where they need to go and how they can like continue to elevate as far as in the Eastern Conference. I was honestly hoping that they would trade for a big, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So yeah, I mean, like I said, Fournier is a valuable piece, but like he doesn't help them like elevate their chances.
I don't think we could ever say the word Celtics without Amber talking about how unhealthy Walker is. She's letting us know.
Kemba's had a bad year, man.
He really has. He has. And I hate it for him. The years that he had in Charlotte, he was hoping that he'd be able to have this with the Celtics. And I think it's still there. It's just for some reason it's not happened for him yet. But I'm going to say, honestly, for this trade, I almost feel like it was – the Celtics needed to trade for somebody, and Orlando just wanted picks and needed something. And they're like, you know what? We're at this far end. Let's just do something. I don't really feel like there was a winner or really a loser on this. I kind of feel like it was just if that makes any sense. I don't.
That's also the thing, though. Like Orlando's trading one of their valuable picks, and all you get is like 2 second-round picks and like kind of like a washed-up veteran point guard. Like that's
right.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I understand at least what Orlando is trying to do. And I did hear someone say, it was even on that same show, I think with Rachel Nichols, I was talking about Orlando, they didn't really like a lot of their moves that they made, but at the same time they understood it. It's like, if we wait longer, we're going to get less. So it's like, maybe we got to just go now before this gets capped lower. So at least they're making efforts. We'll go with that. The next trade that happened, next trade, Spurs got Marquise, which this is one that passed me up. Chris, I think, how do you say his last name?
Marquise Chris, yeah.
Yeah, it is just Chris, okay, because I know it's got 2 S's, and it throws me off. Let me tell you, it's Kentucky slang. We don't really know how to make any fancy words up here. But Chris and Cash, I thought it was funny. And this is the part I didn't understand of this trade, and this is the way it was typed out on NBA. It said, sent right to the 2015 second round and former I can't remember where he played at because that changes the word big time with the autocorrect. Star Caddy Lanady. Again, weird names. So I don't understand. How do you trade somebody and get cash and then you just basically are giving the right to the 2015 pick? Like, I don't understand what happened here.
I personally don't understand it either, to be honest, but okay. The one thing that, that kills you about Golden State, like I was really hoping that Bob Myers would really push during this trade deadline for like a valuable piece, particularly because, I want to say that we're 9th in the West right now and Steph Curry's injured. Even though Andrew Wiggins has played well, we still need some good pieces around us. I was really hoping that we would get a big, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So I don't really understand this trade from our perspective, sending Marquise Chris and some cash away. I just felt like, with everything that's going on with the Warriors, I would feel like, they would have really been at the front of all the teams to really make some big moves, but it just didn't happen.
My thing with Golden State, and that's your team, right? You like Golden State.
Yeah.
My thing with them, even though they're in the hunt more or less, I feel like with them, I feel like they're just waiting for next year still. I mean, they still don't have Klay Thompson.
They definitely
think that they don't want to give up too much and hurt themselves for the future. And Cole Anthony is their future here. I actually like the trade. I'll say somewhat for the Spurs. I always like Marquise Chris so much. I don't know. Jeff Teague just got leased today, apparently.
Which was expected.
Yeah, we kind of expect that. But so basically that trade was for 2 second-round picks.
Definitely.
For Orlando. That makes no sense.
Yeah, definitely.
But, okay, I like that. I've always liked Marquise Chris. I always thought he'd have a career in the NBA. It just hasn't ever completely happened, if that makes any sense. I feel like the expectations for him coming in his rookie year were super high, where he could jump out of a gym and all that, but it just hasn't happened yet. So I like it going to Spurs. Spurs is a young, fun team right now.
Definitely. And Marquese Chriss has some pretty decent moments in the NBA. I know he has some good moments with Phoenix. And and obviously, I mean, he's had some golden moments with us in the past. So yeah, I mean, like going to a San Antonio team where Greg Popovich is going to help everyone kind of develop and get them involved within everything that's going on in the system. I think that'd be good for him.
Mm-hmm. And of course, another Warriors trade that happened today. They sent Brad Wanamaker to the Hornets. I didn't see what they got in return on that. Was there anything?
I honestly can't remember, but I'm not really mad at it. I'm kind of happy he's gone, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, Ember chimed in here and said they don't know if the Spurs actually keep him. Maybe they just wanted some cash, I guess. I think Spurs going to try to get some extra cash for this next year's move. They're always 2 steps ahead. Spurs a great team, great organization. Let's see here. Clippers swap point guards, got Rajon Rondo, and the Hawks got Lou Williams and 2 second-round picks. What are we thinking on here?
I love it. I love it for the Clippers because this is what they needed. Yeah, yeah. Like this is what the Clippers have needed. Like they should have went after Rondo in free agency this past offseason. Yes, watching Kawhi have to be the playmaker, watching Paul George have to be the playmaker at times. It takes away from their ability to possibly score per se. So now having Rondo, having that coach on the floor who is a 2-time champion and knows what it takes to be to win in the playoffs, I think that'll really help them elevate to the elevate and possibly get out of the Western Conference. And here's the thing, the thing though, you don't even have to start Rondo. You can continue to start Patrick Beverley at the point guard position, but the one thing about it is that you're also you're automatically gonna have Rondo in that rotation in the final 5 minutes of the game. So honestly, I love the trade for the Clippers. Lou Williams was kind of inconsistent in his last days in LA. So hopefully he can bring that veteran leadership in Atlanta if they do want to keep him. But I like the trade from both sides.
It was Lou Williams that went to the strip club last year, right? That caused the whole ruckus there.
Yeah.
Where was that strip club at?
I want to say it was in Atlanta. It was in Atlanta.
I was thinking maybe he wanted to go home, get a little home cooking, if you will, with that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, apparently, there was a rumor. I don't know if it's true, but apparently, right after the trade, I heard something like Lou Williams was like debating to retire or something like that. So I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I saw on Twitter.
Well, if it's on Twitter, it's true, man. Let me tell you. But I want to say, I know we've said it many times, especially with Amber preseason. I think we were really adamant about Rondo going to the Clippers. LA wouldn't sign him back with the Lakers, and he was a valuable asset for the Lakers during the whole run with that. I think it, like you even said, I'm going to kind of just piggyback on what you was talking about. I feel like this relieves pressure for the other two, PG and Leonard on that team. A lot of times they had to be ball dominant, and sometimes both of those don't like doing that. And Rondo, I mean, who are you going to help off of? I mean, obviously you're going to help off of Rondo some because of his 3 percentage is probably like mine. But if he's bringing the ball up, you can get him isolated a lot easier, and he can still get to the basket. And he plays great defense. With Williams, it was a pick and roll kind of guy, and we didn't have his guy back, Harold, with him this year. So I feel like it kind of limited him a little bit, and he was more just straight up defense in your face. So you're getting defense with Rondo. You're getting Rondo's mentality too. I mean, he's mental toughness, and now you're even getting some extra offense. So I think this is a great move for the Clippers, and thankfully they finally listened to me.
Definitely. Hey, I think now with this Rondo trade, I got the Clippers coming out of the West. I think I do.
Ooh.
I feel like his presence is going to be that valuable to this team, especially especially per se, if the Lakers, if Anthony Davis doesn't come back 100% and LeBron has to do all of the work. So I think that having Rondo is definitely going to elevate their chances of making it out of the West.
Oh yeah. If either one of those are still we'll say not 100%. Yeah, I think the Clippers are going to come out. Honestly, I could see the Lakers losing first round, whoever they played, if either one of them was under 70%.
Yeah.
That team is so inconsistent with someone else to step up. So let me say it this way. I wouldn't be surprised. I won't be like I'm making a big, bold statement or hot take that they're going to lose. I'm just saying I could see them losing on that. Amber did say yes. Seen you put it on his Instagram. That's what IG. Sorry, you got a cat coming into the play here.
Is she talking about the Lou? Is she talking about the Lou Williams story? I want to say she is.
I think so.
Okay, yeah.
I think so. So yeah, that's very interesting. Sorry, my cat loves me. All right, so let's go. Next one, Rajon Rondo. Bulls got Vucevic and Aminu. There we go. And the Magic's got Wendell Carter Jr. and Otto Porter Jr. and 2 first-round picks. Personally, I kind of like this trade for both teams. I think Orlando was smart on this one, getting the 2 first-round picks for this. But I want to hear what you got on that.
I like the trade, like honestly, from both sides, but I feel like Orlando possibly could have asked for more, particularly because if like Orlando's getting rid of their all-star player, I feel like they would want to like a lot more in the package now. Like Wendell Moore Jr. is good, and I want to say Otto Porter was a part of that deal as well, per se.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like I personally thought that they would have asked for like more assets, like possibly like a Patrick Williams maybe, or who else could you say, like Larry Marketing, even though I feel like that would possibly never happen. But I feel like that's the whole thing with Orlando for me. Like I felt like with them getting rid of Gordon, Vucevic, and Fournier, I feel like they could have gotten a lot more back than what they did. But but then again, I do understand. They're looking for the future. They have Cole Anthony, they have Markelle Fultz, and they're really looking to build upon with those guys and see what they can do in the future.
Oh, definitely. This cat's getting on my nerves again. He's trying to come back up here. Come on. Come here. I'm sorry. This is totally professional. Sorry, Amber. See what happens when you leave this?
It's all good. My cat's around here somewhere.
All right. He actually comes into this room. This is our guest bedroom where I have this set up for my studio, if you will. And he always climbs up to the windowsill when he goes to bed. So it's like, hey, I woke up. You're talking too loud, so I want to get on TV. But cats, I always hated cats. But my youngest daughter was adamant for her 3rd birthday she was getting a cat. And it turns out the cat loves me the most. So, okay. I understand. I just hate it because the poor thing's name is Moon. Because, when you get a 3-year-old, what do they think? A moon, yeah. All right. I'm going to go back to this. I like it for the Bulls, and I like that they get Vucevic. But I do feel like the team is so far out of contention, even though they're going to make the playoffs, don't get me wrong. I feel like it's almost a move that isn't going to do too much for you. Even though I said earlier, I like the trade. I like Vucevic being on this team, but there's still another person away from making anything, right? You agree with me on that?
I definitely agree with that.
So I've always been a little bit hesitant for these teams, or thinking, why would you do this? If you're an 8th or a 7th place team and you're making a trade, I understand you need to get better, but at the same time, if you're not going to get better to compete for the 1 and 2 spots, why make the moves? Because really you're putting yourself lower on draft picks when it comes to all that stuff. You're losing assets to get to that player. I don't understand that. I feel like it's almost a waste of time. And Amber says that LaVine isn't that guy.
Well, as far as like a number 1 option?
I think LaVine is actually having a pretty good year this year.
I guess I can understand, like, as far as like a playoff team per se, like maybe he can't be that guy. I mean, even though LaVine is like a very valuable scorer, like maybe like when it comes to playoff time, which I mean, I want to say he's probably never been in the playoffs, so this will probably be his first year if Chicago does make it. So he might not have the tangibles to actually be that leader for them. Okay, yeah, I can agree.
Right.
But go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, even with the Bulls, if he's the number 1 guy on there, if you get another pretty superstar team, that team could make a run for a championship. This year, ain't nobody making a run for it other than the Nets. But I won't say LaVine can't be that guy, but the other option is going to be pretty much parallel with his superstarism. We'll go with that. But yeah, I don't think he can be the dominant number 1 option. You agree on that?
That's understandable, but yeah, I mean that's also the reason why I do like this this trade for Vucevic. I mean, you have 2 all-star caliber players. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the East is definitely top heavy, especially like with Brooklyn and Milwaukee and all these other guys. But yeah, I mean, the honestly, like the Vucevic trade really does help Chicago in a certain way, because I want to say Vucevic doesn't really have much playoff experience either, besides those two that he had with Orlando. So the thing about it is that you do have two all-stars, but you also have a lot of guys on the team that also don't have a lot of experience as far as the playoffs. So but also Vucevic is a very talented center in this league, probably the most underrated one, if we want to say, to be honest. Just because he was overlooked so much in Orlando. So I do definitely think that his presence will elevate their chances of making the playoffs. But the question is, after that, what's going to happen? Can they get past the first round? Can they possibly get to the second round? Like those would be the questions that are in store for them.
I'm gonna try to look something up real quick while you're talking, even though you're done talking, because I'm the one talking. Right now, what rank are they in the standings?
Oh, hang on, let me check. I want to say last time I checked, they were 6th or 7th or the 10th. Jesus Christ,
they're 10th.
It changes so drastically.
It really does. It really, especially the bottom half. So right now they're 10th. They're 12 games out of first behind 76ers, who in a few more days will not be in first. We know that because the Nets are going to win everything. So they are 2 games behind the Pacers at 9th, which is also 2 games behind the Heat at 9, or at 10.5 back for them. So technically, if they won 2 or 3 in a row, they would jump to the 6th place. So that actually makes sense why you that there. But adding this, I don't think that they're going to go too much higher than the 6. Anyways, I could see them going over the Knicks, but also think the Heat's going to jump up and be in the 4th or 5th spot too. So we're looking at like a Bucks Bulls matchup probably, or even a Heat Bulls matchup. I just don't think that trade is going to be like, okay, we're solidified ourselves here. We're going to make a push. We'll probably get out of the first round out. I don't see that happening. Do you all?
Not necessarily. And this is part of the reason why I was hoping that Chicago will possibly go for a playmaker type guy, particularly Lonzo Ball. I was really hoping that they would have pushed for him, but unfortunately that didn't happen, because I feel like having a guy that can really control the floor and really help Levine get into his spots, could possibly run pick and roll with Vucevic if he can. I feel like that'll make the game easier for those guys, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So but Chicago's still a young team, they have an off season to look ahead, potentially, grabbing some key pieces and potentially going forward. So we'll definitely see what they can do after this year.
Now I'm going to ask you this too, because you just said no one's catching the top 3 teams.
Without question.
Well, who's the top 3? Because you got 76ers, Nets, and Bucks right now are their top 3. Is that your top 3? Because I'm still totally set on the Heat. Because the Heat, even right now with their trades and stuff, they're shorthanded and everything like that. I feel like they're going to make a push up.
The Miami Heat could possibly get up to the 4th spot, where Charlotte's at now, but I don't think they can eclipse any of these 3 teams to catch the potential, catch a top seed in the East.
Okay. That's fair enough. I just feel this way. It's like I've always said in any show I do. The Gonzaga, I can't believe in them until they prove me wrong. The Bucks, I can't really believe in them until they prove me wrong.
I get that.
So until they can actually do something, the Bucks, I feel like is a wonderful season team, but a tournament team, they're not. And we just know how that offense is. It's very downhill, fast break constantly during the season. And then when it comes playoff time, it's half-court offense, and that's where I think they struggle. But I do think they've made some additions to their team. Drew Holiday, I think, is going to be great during the playoffs for that too. Health matters, and they can't stay healthy. I agree on that. Alrighty, let me change my here. This one I think is very interesting. Is the Nuggets trade for Aaron Gordon and Gary Clark, and Magic's get Gary Harrison, R.J. Hampton, and 2 first-round picks. So, like I said, I'm trying to do this simply. You go ahead. I want to hear you talk about that while I look back at this just a tad bit.
Well, it's definitely a win for Denver. I think Aaron Gordon needs to really needed to get out of Orlando and possibly be a part of a winning culture. And for Denver, who has been very inconsistent, I feel like Gordon will possibly help them. It's honestly no question that he's going to start at the power forward. Paul Millsap's probably going to slide to the bench more likely. And, Aaron Gordon brings a lot of athleticism, a lot of agility, agility to really play more than one position. With his ball handling ability and his ability to run the pick and roll. And then also, oftentimes he can be a really good defensive player. at times, like, whenever he's put in those positions. So I really think that him being on the roster will potentially elevate their chances of possibly, like, maybe getting to the Western Conference Finals again, because I personally don't see them getting out of the West. So yeah, I mean, I definitely like this Aaron Gordon trade for the Nuggets. And as far as Orlando's side, I've honestly been saying this for a while now. Gary Harris is just a little bit too inconsistent for me. I was honestly expecting him to be that third option behind Jokic and Murray, but he never lived up to that potential. So hopefully he can get a new start elsewhere. Hopefully it'll be good in Orlando.
Again, breaking down each trade that Magic have done, you're thinking kind of wow on some of these things, and I kind of agree with even that with Gary you talked there. But in the 3 trades that the Magic have done, they now, and I don't know the year, so I understand. Don't hold me to it. The Magic's got 2 first-round picks in one trade, 2 first-round picks in another trade, and 2 second-round picks in the third trade. So they definitely are looking for the future, and I think this puts them in a nice spot to look for these nice caliber young guys that they can mold and put in their style that they want. So I actually like the trade deadlines as a whole for the Magics, but when you look at each individual trade, I don't think it's that good. Even like we were talking about the 2 second-round picks, that was kind of like for me is what I said. But now what you see is they also got 4 first-round picks. That's looking pretty nice. Yeah, and of course, it depends on what years they are too, because I'm sure your 4 first-round picks that you got are not probably going to be back-to-back years, I wouldn't think. It might be a couple throughout the year as well, because they could end up with heck, I've got to look into that. What if it was back-to-back years? So they'd be having like 3 first-round picks because of their own that they have in the next 2 years. That would be amazing. But I like this trade on the Nuggets side. I think Aaron Gordon needed out of Magic. I think this is going to reboot his career. I think he actually has something to play for. Before, it was just basically highlights that he was playing for, I feel like, with Orlando. I think this is also going to move Nuggets past the Lakers in the season, because Lakers are still hurt, and they're going to move up a spot there for sure.
Interesting.
Do you not think so?
Like I said, man, like it really depends to me. Like, as far as Anthony Davis, like I honestly expect LeBron to come back healthy. Like I feel like that's a guarantee. I feel like that's a guarantee for the Lakers. Now, if Anthony Davis does not come back at 100% and he's still dealing with these lingering injuries, then I do feel like that's going to cost the Lakers possibly in the first or second round. Right.
Well, I'm just saying at the season. As far as playoffs, I think everyone will be back into it. Yeah, I'm just saying as far as the rating for the playoff part of it.
Yeah.
Because right now the Nuggets are just a game and a half back behind the Lakers. So I definitely think by the time everyone's back and healthy, the Nuggets will be in that 4th spot. I'm actually interested with the Trailblazers. Do what?
The Lakers stink right now, man. I'm not gonna lie. The Lakers definitely stink.
Oh yeah. Well, I could actually see the Trailblazers. They're the same as the Nuggets, just a game and a half behind the Lakers. I could see the Lakers dropping to 7th in the Western by the time the season's over with.
Oh man, it's insane.
But I could still see them winning the title. That's what's crazy with this Lakers. The 2 injuries. I mean, that's a side story. I'll say LeBron, every time he goes, it's 2 players or bust, basically. He rides that, and it's wonderful on that. So let's see here. I think that's got all the trades that we had on here. The next that we wanted to talk about, or myself, is wanted to talk about some of the buyouts that we know are going to happen. We know that before we started this, that Aldridge was still with the Spurs, but it's already happened, and he's been bought out, or the contract's bought out and all that whole jazz. Let's see here. What's Amber saying? The Lakers won't win a title without AD and make it out.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
AD to me is the glue of the team. And, whenever he's not on the floor, you can tell the difference with the Lakers.
Oh, yes. So Aldridge, we already know, been bought out and has already committed signing with not only then the Brooklyn Nets. What are your feelings on that? And let's be honest. Let's hear your true thoughts on there, because our NBA chat's been kind of good for this talk.
Yes. I think we all know what this is for, man. I mean, so look at Demarcus Aldridge, man. I mean, he definitely made a smart move. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely an offer that you don't want to turn down, especially with this being this late in his career. So for him to sign with a super team who just signed Blake Griffin, and now they got LaMarcus Aldridge. So, I think it's definitely a good move from his perspective. But, as far as like from fans and everybody else, I mean, you definitely want to see competition. So I know a lot of people said Miami. I know people said Portland. People said the Lakers. So, you definitely did not see Brooklyn in the midst of this. But Brooklyn just got cash, man. I don't know how they're signing these guys. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like they got like at least 20, 25 guys like on their roster. It seems like. I definitely agree.
As far as the individual standpoint, why wouldn't you go for Brooklyn? Like right now, if I was LeBron James, I'd go play for Brooklyn. Why not? I mean, it's what the Monstars do. But as far as a fan looking into it, I wish he would have went to the Heat. I actually think the Heat was really hoping that they could get him because, like I said earlier, they had 2 spots left open, and I think it was basically to try to get Aldridge in that spot. But it didn't happen. A lot of people are actually in my Twitter community was talking about Aldridge coming. I hate it because it's just one-sided team here. Let's see here. They still have 1 spot left. Wow.
If they honestly end up getting Drummond, oh my God.
Ooh. If they got Drummond, it's no point. Like, just go ahead and say it's done.
I ain't even gonna watch the playoffs. I ain't gonna cover it. Like, it's crazy at this point, man. Like, I definitely did not expect this. I mean, James Harden was one thing, but then, like, as soon as they got Blake Griffin, okay, like that now that'll really elevate the chances. Now they got LaMarcus Aldridge, who a lot of people are saying, like, he's not gonna be a valuable player, but LaMarcus Aldridge is still a pretty good player. I mean, I know things didn't end well in San Antonio, but I mean, he still has a pure jump shot. He's still able to, create for himself on the offensive end. So I feel like he would definitely be a plus. Now the question is, like, how does Steve Nash does this rotation? Because I mean, here's the thing, I don't see LaMarcus Aldridge possibly getting minutes over guys like Nicholas Claxton, Jeff Green per se, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he how he's able to fit into their rotation. Because I mean, Brooklyn has a lot of young guys that are ready to play and are showing really good potential.
I see him being a what was it? I think Shane Marion for the Suns.
Sean Marion, yeah.
John Marion, not Shane. So, that's definitely what Steve Nash is going to put him out there. Set some picks now and then. You don't have to be the high flying like he was with Stoudemire as well, but just sit out there and just shoot some threes. I mean, that's Aldridge. He's been this guy. I almost feel like he was before his time as far as the NBA. He's this big man that can shoot outside. He is still somewhat of a back down kind of guy, but he likes to face the basket, shoot 15 and out. So, I mean, he's a valuable player. I mean, he's not bad. Let's be honest. He's in the NBA. We know he's still good. Exactly. I just don't see how he really fits into this team. Now, I mean, run some pick and pops with him. That would be great. It's hard to have your big man stop James Harden or Kevin Durant on trying to double team and recover out for the pick and pop instead of a roll. But I think he could be easily used on this team, but where, if you didn't have so many other options on this team, he would be perfect, like everyday player doing this right here. But okay, if you're playing Aldridge, where are you going to play Blake Griffin? If you're playing both of them, then where are you playing Jordan? And then
that's
even
the thing,
other
man,
young guys, it's crazy. Like, if these older guys that have just signed with this team, if they can stay in shape and healthy and get up and down the floor like a fast-paced team, this would be a crazy team to watch, man. Drummond coming out or not Drummond, but hopefully he doesn't go there. Jordan coming out with a big old lob over here. Aldridge just sitting over here chilling for a 3. Blake Griffin and the way he can jump out of a gym. This would be a fun team. And I didn't even mention the 3 superstars on the team.
Exactly. That's the thing. I tweeted this earlier this morning. Like even without the 3 superstars, they got players that can play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I definitely agree. I definitely agree to that, Amber. But like I said, Brooklyn has guys that can play. They have guys like I said, Nicholas Claxton, Jeff Green, Joe Harris, TLC. I'm not going to say his name because for some reason I can never get it right. Bruce Brown per se.
Just start doing initials.
Exactly. But like I said, like Brooklyn has guys that that can really play and really understand their role. So that I think that's what makes them so dangerous and so effective, because you have the combination of basically pretty much 3 of the best scorers in the NBA today, and then you have a lot of great role players who can also contribute as well.
I'm trying to pull up the roster to actually be able to name all their team. Let's see here. Nicholas Claxton. Dinwiddie's still there, right?
Dinwiddie's injured though. I mean, I think I want to say he tore like his MCL, ACL, or something like that.
Okay, so he's okay.
So yeah, he's done for the year. But even then, even if he was healthy, like, that's
Harris.
an automatic plus too.
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah, I definitely can't say that guy's name. TLC. Yeah.
I can't say his name either.
Yeah, I don't even know his first name. Timothy, I guess.
I want to say that. I don't know how. Like, I mean, I watched so many Nets games, and I still can't get his name right.
Listen,
so
I just finally learned to just go with Giannis. Yeah, Giannis. That's the best I can do there. So yeah, I mean, this team. Yeah, I like Amber's comment here. Let me pull this up. Someone has to sacrifice, and it's going to be your veterans on this. Like, that's why they came to this team, is to win a ring, and they'll do whatever they need to do. Like, they didn't come to this team to get some money and all that stuff. I can actually pronounce it, she says. I don't believe that at all, Amber. You can't pronounce that name.
Better than me, I'll say, because I really don't know how I can't say his name right, man. It's just so crazy. So until then, I'm just going to call him TLC.
That works for me. I seen it on my Bleacher Report. I love that app. It was talking about this high school prospect for football, and his name was the coolest, and it was DA the whatever then coolest. I'm like, where do people come up with these names? Like, I'm not that cool to think of this cool name that would actually work. I'm just Michael. I mean, that's all I could come up with. But I love it. It's great. I don't know how you come up and say some of these names on there. Let's see here. Buyouts. Oh, yeah. Was it the coldest? I thought it was the coolest. That would be cool, too, if it was the coldest. But another one we mentioned is Drummond. Andre Drummond hasn't yet been bought out and signed with anyone else. Where do you think he goes?
I'm hoping the Lakers, and I know Woj was reporting on this earlier that they're potentially reaching an agreement. So hopefully by the end of this weekend, we'll possibly like figure out news like whether he goes to there or not, because the Lakers need size. The Lakers need size, and it shows. I mean, everyone expected Marcus Gasol to be that guy for them, but it just hasn't really shown this year. And Montrezl Harrell is very undersized. Like, you can tell it's a big difference from last year when they had JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, and Anthony Davis being in that front court. Like, I mean, just basically having like two twin towers under the rim. It really like helped elevate their chances to win every night. So I feel like the Lakers are really missing that this year. So I think Drummond really brings a lot of that presence. And I mean, and like, I know a lot of people on Twitter are talking about, oh, he's shooting like 47% at the rim and all that. Like, All the Lakers really need from Drummond is to just rebound and defend. Like, that's all they really need. Like, everything else will possibly come later on, but for him to be like that defensive anchor for the team, that'll really help them like elevate their chances, particularly when LeBron James, like if LeBron James and Anthony Davis come back 100%.
I don't want him to go to the Lakers because I just don't want the Lakers always being in the thing. That's just me. It makes sense for the Lakers to try to go for him because we know Anthony Davis is not going to be 100%. By the end of this season. So I think it makes sense, especially with the Clippers getting Rondo. I think this makes a more urgency for the Lakers to try to get this sign going or make this buyout happen. Sorry, I've got something falling in front of my face here. I still would like to see him go to another team because we want to see other teams in competition. We don't want to just see the same teams always, or at least I don't. I'm a small market fan.
What other teams do you see him like potentially going to?
I have said a few times that I'd like to see him go to the Suns.
Okay.
That was before Blake Griffin signed. I would actually rather have Griffin there. I'd just like to see the Suns make a move. But it's probably going to be a team that – I'm trying to multitask here. A team that's in that 6th, 7th spot that's trying to get over the hump. I think it'd be neat to see him go to the Grizzlies that are in 9th right now. Hadn't really thought much on that. As far as the East teams –
possibly the Celtics, honestly.
I would like the Celtics or even the Knicks. I could see him going to the Knicks because they would love a Drummond there. Oh, I don't think you like that at all.
Well, I like it, but I mean, it's definitely going to be tough because I mean, number one, I don't feel like he'll definitely start because honestly, Nerlens Noel has been great for them in the middle throughout this year, so he'll definitely be coming off the bench. So. And then also, I mean, like I don't even know if like he'll be able to fit in that rotation. So I mean, it'll definitely be interesting. Like if he would end up going to that team and see like how he would get those minutes.
Now, my one team that I have said, and I forgot until I just looked up the list here and seen them, I would love for him to go to the Hornets. Of course, this is before Ball broke his wrist and is out for the year. I think that young core with Drummond down there would be wonderful. Oh, no.
Definitely.
Oh, no. Well, I don't think.
Oh, yep, he did. Yep. Mitchell Robinson did fracture his foot. I saw that before we got on here.
Okay. So, I mean, that would change some things there. So, but I think it makes sense that he ends up a Laker, don't you? I mean, we could debate this all night, but it's probably going to be a Laker side.
And then it puts him in a position to potentially like be on a contender. So,
as far as an individual, if I could sign with anyone, I would go with the Knicks.
Yeah, honestly, they got one roster spot left. So,
yeah, you know what? Just pay me the veteran minimum, and I won't even lace up my shoes. I'll just bring the waters out for everybody. That's fine.
Ride the bench and get a ring, and then go back home and just like basically just flash it off to everybody. Can't be.
Yeah, I got it. So those are the two main people that we know are going to be bought out. Is there anyone that are kind of under the radar that we look to be bought out, or is another move that may happen?
I honestly haven't heard about anybody else besides Andre Drummond and LaMarcus Aldridge. Now, I mean, there may be a few other guys, but I haven't necessarily heard of them. I don't know if Amber may know of some other people, but who knows?
Another one that's been talked about a lot, as far as not buyout, but just someone that's not signed, is Demarcus Cousins. Do you think he gets signed anywhere soon?
It's tough because, you know, also, I mean, shout out to Demarcus Cousins, because Demarcus Cousins came into this season in really good shape and was ready to play. And it's unfortunate to see, you know, him end up going out of Houston. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of GMs and everybody, like, they're looking at this guy who's been injury prone, and, you know, they're not going to want to take that chance. So, if there can be a chance that he gets on another roster spot, I would possibly like to see him in Miami. You know, coming off the bench, maybe behind Bam Adebayo, or even. Honestly, I don't even know. Honestly, I know the Lakers were thinking about it like before, like when he had like first initially got released from Houston. But I mean, I honestly highly doubt that'll happen. So I definitely want DeMarcus Cousins to like potentially get back on an NBA team, because I feel like he still has a lot to bring to an NBA roster.
What about Portland? Do you think that could be a possibility for him?
Could be honestly, because honestly, I mean, Nurkic is also very injury prone too. Per se, so I definitely feel like Portland should get like another backup big, you know, just honestly, like just in case. So DeMarcus Cousins could be a valuable asset, but then again, like he's not really the best rim protector as well. So, you know, you never know. I mean, it honestly could be a possibility, and then it could not.
What my buddy just said that, and I don't know how to say this name. I think it's Gorgie Deng.
Gorgie Jang. Oh, yeah. Dang, I can't believe I forgot about him. He just came from Memphis, I'm going to say.
Yeah, he just got bought out.
Definitely.
So
he needs to go to Boston. I think Boston needs a solid big who can protect the paint. Obviously, that wasn't Daniel Tice. And Tristan Thompson, I mean, is kind of undersized, even though he does have a lot of hustle and toughness. He has been injured a lot this year, too. So I think having Gorgie Jang on that Boston roster could potentially elevate his chances. I mean, he could definitely be a defensive enforcer and really help them elevate themselves to, like, you know, potentially like grab like a good spot in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, that would be nice, too. And maybe that's where Cousins could go. But like we even said, he's a little, I won't say short, but just old age has gotten up to him a little bit as far as protecting the rim so much. Now, if you're crossing the paint in front of the rim, you're definitely going to feel it because Cousins is going to throw some type of elbow in you. So we know that's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
That's all of the people that I can think of that have been bought out. Anyone that you can, or are going to be bought out. Amber put Bradley. I'm not for sure who we're talking about here unless she means Avery Bradley. Yeah,
probably Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley can be used by a contender. I mean, especially with his great perimeter defense and his ability to knock down the 3-point shot. I feel like he could definitely be used by any contender. Like you could put him on any team, and I feel like he'll elevate their chances. Help. Possibly even Milwaukee. I think if Milwaukee can have a shot at getting him, like I think that they could definitely make that move. They definitely need somebody who can, you know, become an enforcer on that team. I mean, obviously Drew Holiday is that guy, but you know he missed some time as well. And like during Holiday's absence, like you could tell, like that the Bucks really missed him because they were struggling like tremendously. So I don't know. I mean, possibly adding Avery Bradley to that team would definitely like help their chances.
Amber said maybe Phoenix.
Phoenix could definitely.
I mean, like we said, any team would be great for him because all teams love shooting. But I feel like with Chris Paul and Booker, that might be a little 1-2 for them. I think Avery Bradley would be a little bit of a smaller size at the three. I know in this NBA career now how they do it, it can still work. That would be my only hesitant because, the Raptors for so many years, they went small so much, but yet when they'd meet LeBron's, the size would always win on that, and LeBron would spank them. I'm trying to look at their roster to see who they have as well. I wish it would show when I clicked on this, like the starters and how they have it, because, it goes crazy like that. Who is their shooting guard?
For Milwaukee? I honestly don't even.
The Suns.
Oh, the Suns. I want to say the starting lineup is Chris Paul, Devin Booker, obviously Ayton. I really don't even know who really play. I don't even know who plays the four, to be honest.
Michael Bridge plays it, don't he?
Mikal Bridges is probably at the 3 spot. Damn. Yeah, Mikal Bridges. I don't know who plays the 4 though. I don't know that one. That's crazy. Help me out, Amber.
Is it Crowder? It
might be Crowder. Yep, it is Crowder.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that would be a good pickup on that team. Wouldn't have to be a starter, but could definitely be great minutes off the bench. I like that as well. Maybe that's what needs to happen. Amber, you're right. Bradley, just go ahead and sign with the Suns. We've got it figured out for you there.
Phoenix has to be good too. I mean, honestly, like shout out to them because I mean, Chris Paul has really changed like the dynamic of that franchise. It really made them a winning culture. So shout out to them.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Chris Paul is the most underrated, unrespected point guard in the NBA.
Without question. It's especially like considering like his exit out of Houston. A lot of guys were calling him washed up. Like he can't play at the highest level anymore. And then all of a sudden, he goes to Oklahoma City and really like turns them into a playoff team after they had like a 0.2% chance to make the playoffs. Now everybody wants to praise Chris Paul. After everybody was calling him washed up and saying that he needed to retire. So, NBA Twitter is always crazy, man. That's why like I try to mind my business on there, but sometimes I can't help it. I'll end up like being in the midst of getting into arguments with people. But I mean that's definitely how it is.
It's day to day when it comes to the NBA. One day this player is phenomenal. The next day he's trash. Nobody likes him. I mean, look at Carmelo Anthony. I mean, he went from being sky high to sitting out for a year or two, not even being on a team, to being back and being a starter every day. I can't remember how many points he's finally scored, but I want to say it's like 3,200 or something like that.
Yeah.
Plant-based diet, baby.
Like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, without question.
Alrighty, I think that about wraps it up as far as our buyouts. Not really more I can think of. So I think we need to go ahead and transition to what is super hot in basketball right now, and it's the March Madness. I haven't been able to watch too much today, and a lot of the games happened today, so I'm actually going to have to look at my phone and go through this. 27,000 Amber said, and counting. Got to put that in there too. First off, let me go ahead and say this. Amber, thank you for joining us through YouTube. Guys that are still watching this right now, go and follow. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Unwrapped Sports Network. Everything that we do, every person with Unwrapped is funneled through the YouTube, because we know that Periscope is going to be going away of some sort, and a lot of our streamlines that we have may disappear. But if you were to miss something, YouTube, if you haven't followed it, go follow it now, because everything will be on there as well. So that way you don't miss anything. You catch all of our shows. With that being said, my picks are super hot, both men's and women's. I'm sorry, Amber, I haven't kept up too much with the women's just because Kentucky lost the other night to Iowa, and I was done.
Yeah.
But the boys have been fun. Oral Roberts has made a wonderful run. They actually lost today by 2 to Arkansas, who I have going, I think, to the Final Four, so I'm happy about that. Here's the thing. Every year when I make a brackets, I pick who I actually think are going to win. Then when the games start, I don't care who wins. I'm always for the underdog. I don't know if I'm the only person like that, as soon as I seen Oral Roberts in Arkansas, I was like, man, my brackets, I got Arkansas going so much farther. But Oral Roberts, let's see you do it. They're 15th in your bracket. Come on. Any game stuck out to you? Did you watch this game any? Can you tell me anything about it?
Yeah, I definitely watched like bits of the Oral Roberts Arkansas game, and honestly, like going to like midway through the second half, it did look like Oral Roberts was going to pull it off and make it to the Elite Eight, but Arkansas, led by Moses Moody and the rest of the team, they were just able to make that comeback, and you could tell like that really hurt Oral Roberts because like their last shot, like I can't remember the player's name, but he had a good look at the basket, even like the
really?
double triple team, yeah, like it was like a really good look at the basket, man, and unfortunately it didn't drop. I took 2 L's today on the men's side. I definitely had Loyola Chicago winning today against Oregon State, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Loyola Chicago did not play well this game at all. I want to say they shot like 31% from the field the entire game, and
I seen that stat. It was like they were 2 for something crazy other than one player. So yeah, they were not ready to play today. Oregon State, happy for that. I know Corey. If you guys ever watch any of our bets unwrapped, Corey actually played. I think for either Oregon, I want to say he played in Minnesota, but the coach there is at Oregon State now, so he's been congratulating him on our chats and everything. So that's cool to see that. Oregon State actually looks pretty good. I want to say before this game,
they look really good.
Loyola was actually third best as far as the Vegas bets to actually win it. So this team's out now. So it's crazy. I was scared to death because my number one team that I have pick and win in the whole thing is Baylor. And on my way home, or actually, I'm sorry, in my lunch, I looked through my Bleacher Report looking at some of these scores, and before the half, they were down or at half, I want to say they were down by 7 points. I was like, oh my goodness, my team that's supposed to go to the national championship game is about to lose. But they ended up coming back. They won by 11 points, 62, beating Villanova 51. So I'm happy about that. Were you able to watch any of that game? Like, how did that game go? Because I was nervous wreck when I seen that.
I honestly did not watch any of that game, but I mean, like, just kind of like, from what everyone's saying about it, like Baylor's a really good defensive team. So for them to go down early, there must have been some struggles, but luckily they were able to pull it together and close it out at the end. So I'm definitely happy for them. I definitely have them going to the Final Four too. I don't know about making it to the national championship per se, but I definitely have them going to the Final Four.
Well, who do you got going to the championship?
Well, in all honesty, I do have Gonzaga winning. I definitely have Gonzaga winning it all. Hey, I'm hoping they can pull it off. I'm hoping that they can do the undefeated season. I want to see that'll happen for like the first time in like probably like 30, 40 years per se. And I really hope that they can get it done. But then again, like I said, Baylor's a great defensive team. So if they do if they do go head to head with them in the national championship, that could be a challenge. But I honestly, I can't remember who I had going up against Gonzaga. Honestly, I want to say I had Illinois going up against them, but we saw how they ended up falling apart against Loyola Chicago.
A lot of teams had Illinois going all the way. So the brackets are probably jacked up for all these trying to win money off of them. I had Ohio State going quite a far. I want to say to the Elite Eight in there, and they killed my bracket. But
they definitely killed.
I think I had Illinois. Yeah, so that's why we love March Madness. You don't know what's going to happen.
You never know.
But right now, the game that's going on, I think I've got Baylor, and I want to say I had Houston in it. So I mean, well, actually, they're up. I was going to say they're playing right now, so it's in the air. But right now, Houston is up 39-27 against Syracuse, second half with 15 minutes to go. So it sounds like Houston's going to go ahead and hold on to that win. Granted, it's way early and it's March Madness, but being up by 12 with 15 minutes left, it's pretty good. So, yeah, it's just been fun. A lot of upsets. I'm glad that Oregon State is a 12th ranked seed, and they're going to be going to the Elite Eight now. So that is wonderful. We love seeing the Cinderella teams. It's kind of hard to think that Oregon State would have been a Cinderella team. I don't think anybody would have picked that from the beginning. I'm trying to see if I can pull up anything else on here. Because there's no other matchups being played right now other than those 4 games today, and then they're playing tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. But also, okay. Yeah, we got. Go ahead.
I'm gonna reference the women's game too. UConn against Iowa. Paige Bueckers against Caitlin Clark was a phenomenal game. Shout out to Kristen Williams, who I want to say she had like 27 points. Avina Westbrook had a near triple double. Paige Bueckers had a near triple double, and they were just able to get it done. So, Amber, I ain't gonna lie. Like UConn's looking tough, man. I really hope South Carolina can hold them.
Oh yeah. In girls, we always want South Carolina to win. Now, let me ask you this Iowa girl, because I didn't know much about her, UConn and Baylor.
I didn't know much about her either till this tournament, honestly. I did not. I mean, like, I know a lot of people were telling me, like, to watch film on her, but I never got a chance to. But this girl can play. I mean,
there was the first half, and I was at my dad's house visiting for a little bit, and it was like Kentucky couldn't buy a shot in that game that I was watching. And this girl was moving, like, getting the ball, moving left, and just pulled up a three anyways. And it was smooth. She was stroking from deep, easy. I'm pretty sure I heard that she was a freshman. Is she a freshman?
Yep. She's a freshman. She is a freshman, which is crazy.
Dang.
The leading scorer in the country as a freshman.
As a freshman, yeah. The leading scorer. I forgot. But, yeah, I mean, why didn't she go to UConn? What happened there? How does UConn miss out on this chick?
I have no idea, but having her and Paige in that backcourt, oh my God, that'd be just so insane. Oh my God.
I was hoping the Kentucky-Iowa game would be a better turnout with Ryan Howard.
Yeah, Ryan Howard.
The player that she is. But just didn't happen that way. But oh well. Definitely. So, well, you don't have your brackets on you, so I can't ask who you got going on. But the matchups for tomorrow, let's hear this. Creighton, Gonzaga. You obviously got Gonzaga, right?
Gonzaga getting that one, yep.
Let's see.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, it definitely wouldn't. Like UConn would look like Brooklyn, honestly.
The college, Brooklyn. That's crazy. Next matchup, we got Florida State and Michigan. Michigan is actually a 2-point favor as far as your bets on Bleacher Report. It's probably through DraftKings. Who you got winning that game?
Say that one more time. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Florida State and Michigan. Michigan's only favored by 2 points.
I'm probably going to go Michigan on that one. And I love Florida State, but honestly, like, Florida State's been really inconsistent, like, on both ends of the floor as far as defensively and stuff. So I might have to go with Michigan on that one.
I would lean to Michigan, but I could see Florida State. Like, if I was wanting to gamble on anything, I probably would go with the Florida State on this because they're turning it up at the right time, and they're playing really good defense as well. So I could see that looking tasty, or as they say, sexy. But yeah, I would definitely go with Michigan in this game. Next, Alabama, UCLA. Alabama 7-point favor. I have Alabama going to the Final Four too. SEC, Kentucky. I've seen them a lot. They're a nice looking team.
It's tough for me. UCLA is a really good team. Johnny Juzang is really starting to become like one of my favorite players in all of college basketball. But I might have to go Alabama on this one.
Can we not talk about him because he left Kentucky?
That's right.
And even Michigan last year. Michigan, Matthews, I think it was with them last year, another Kentucky player that we just let go. That's the only thing. I love Calipari. I'm not going to badmouth him because everyone in Kentucky hates him right now because of the season we had. Here's my thing. I'll say this and I'll go on. Calipari recruits the best players that he can, which are obviously top. If he were to miss on one of his recruits, as far as his scouting miss, then that whole season is pretty much a wash. Hayden, thank you for jumping on here. What's up? Hope work went good. Thank you for getting on here. My thing, BJ Boston, he's going to be a good NBA player, but he's going to need another year. Of course, he's already declared for the NBA.
That's what I was saying earlier. Because I mean, he has a lot of holes in his game to me that really like needs to like be an improvement. Like obviously his perimeter shot and like potentially even defense as well. But I mean, I know that Coach Cal is probably going to have like a good recruitment class for next year, so it's going to be hard for him.
That's another problem. Like, if you don't develop in that 1 year and you need to stay back, what kind of playing time are you going to get because these guys coming in too? So I wish BJ would stay back. I'm not 100% sure if he's getting an agent or not, but I do know he's declared. I'd like to see him come back and let's just do the platoon again. And I'm saying, BJ was a wash this year. He didn't perform to what he should be. watching the games, you see that he was straight up raw talent. Like you could tell he just dominated so much that he didn't have to know or learn the fundamentals and the small things, and it hurt him this year. Not saying he's not going to be a good NBA player. I think he's going to. He just needs more development time.
Definitely.
That's the thing with Calipari. With Kentucky, if you don't have that guy hit that year, that whole year is going to suck because we're all freshmen. So that's just how it is. What was you about to say?
Oh, nothing. No, I'm good.
Okay. So that's my rant on Kentucky. When you get those, the other players got to go somewhere else, and oh well, it happens.
But yeah, I definitely have. I might have to pull Alabama on that game against UCLA.
Thank you. That's the only thing we needed to hear. We didn't have to talk about the other player. But the last matchup for tomorrow, we got Oregon versus USC, and USC is only a 2-point favor. Who you got?
If Evan Mobley's playing at that high level like I expect him to, then yeah, I'm gonna go USC.
USC. I'm actually going to go with Oregon on this one. I like Oregon. It's just one of them gut things. When you hear Oregon, you think beautiful court and beautiful uniforms. Let's just pick them.
Definitely.
Here's Amber chiming in about the Go Bama. You better go Bama. That's the best team in the SEC right now.
Definitely.
All right. Well, it's looks like we've covered everything on our list. Is there anything else you want to add to it?
We're gonna talk about this last topic real quick because I mean I don't know if you have any other plans after this, but I want to go ahead and get into this one. Honestly, I mean, obviously I'm not sure if you saw it, but there's a lot of there's a lot of controversy, particularly with a player named Draymond Green after he made a comment saying that he was the best defender, I guess in NBA history per se. Now, honestly, am I mad at Draymond for making that comment? No. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you have to feel like you are the best. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna hear Draymond Green say, "Oh, Gary Payton was better than me," or I don't know, Metta World Peace was a better defender than me, or Dennis Rodman was a better defender than me. Like that's just not in his spirit. So I mean, I like when players acknowledge that they are the best. Like that's why, like even though I do disagree with what Draymond said, I do like the fact that he did say that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you definitely have to have that edge. Especially when you're a 3-time champion and you showed up defensively on many occasions in the biggest stage of basketball. Like, why would you not think that? So, I know a lot of guys like Chris Webber criticized them. I know a lot of other guys, around the NBA, like as far as media wise, they criticize him. But I'm not mad for what he says. Like, now, do a lot of us agree with him? Of course not. I definitely think that I definitely think that it's definitely like a good debate. But I'm not mad at him for making that comment, in my opinion.
Okay. Here's my stand. Well, let me back up. I'm trying to think how I need to say this. I got two ways of saying this. Me as a player and the way I always played, you didn't talk game, you showed your game. That's just me. I'll never again that.
Definitely.
But this is Draymond. Like, this is who he is. So the comment for him, I like, because this is just raw green. This is how he is. We wouldn't expect anything else. I actually was looking up something when you mentioned that you want to talk about this earlier. Got to pull it up here. Here's some small stuff that he has done from the defensive side. He's basically a Swiss Army knife. I mean, he does everything. He can guard 1 through 5.
Yep.
He's been player of the year. Let's see here. He averaged 2 steals, 1.4 blocks in the year that he won the defense player of the year. He's got 3 national championships. We know that. He became the first player ever during his Defensive Player of the Year season to achieve a triple-double without scoring points in the game. That's crazy. So, it's rebounds, steals,
and assists. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a stat that's pretty phenomenal, really, if you ask me. He's been an all-defensive team 5 times now. Let's see here. And, of course, he's just his build. Like, I think he's like 6'9", somewhere around there. Like he's got good strength where he can battle down low. That's why I'm saying he's a Swiss Army knife, where he can defend the block, and he's got the agility where he can guard the perimeter. What helps him is who he is mentally. Like, my favorite thing on Draymond Green ever saying is what he hollered. Who was it? I want to say Paul Pierce.
Yep.
When his retiring
You try to be
What was
Kobe.
it he said?
You try to be
Yeah.
Kobe.
Well, you what? You try to be Kobe? That right there. If you either fell in love with him with that comment, or you could not stand him ever again. I fell in
Definitely.
love with him because I wish I had that personality that I could just tell it like it is, but I can't. I don't have it in me. So I love it. I mean, I don't think he's the best defender in all of NBA, but believe it and go be it. You know, this is kind of the way he is. So I love the comment, actually.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I've always said this. I've been saying this for years now. Draymond is probably the most misunderstood player in the NBA, just because I mean, a lot of people will like look at the rants and like like all the technical fouls that he has, but he honestly has like one of the highest IQs for the game. He could play the point guard position. He could pretty much play like any position you ask him to. And then also, I mean, and like we said, I mean, he definitely brings it on the defensive end. I mean, and like I said, I mean, he's definitely like came up big in like some of like the biggest playoff games per se, and he's definitely been like that glue for the Warriors as far as like being like the top defensive player on that team. So, like I said, I mean, do I agree with him saying that he's the best defensive player? Like, in my opinion, no, because I mean, you definitely have to acknowledge the likes of Gary Payton, Dennis Rodman, and and a lot of other guys, Bill Russell, if you want to say. So, I think as far as like, him saying that, I'm not mad at it, but you definitely have to like look into like those guys as well whenever you like make like comments like that.
Oh yeah. And what I think too is, I mean, he is defense. He's actually, in my opinion, changed the big man style
Definitely.
in the NBA. Like he's changed it. You never seen any big man dribble down the court as many times as he has running the offense. I want to say he's a game changer, really. I don't think he gets a lot of respect. I've had many arguments with people out here saying that Draymond Green is not that good of a ball player. You take Draymond off that team, they don't win those championships.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, you could say like if Draymond didn't get suspended in that 2016 finals, I want to say that was Game 5. Like they probably would have won it all.
Listen, that's a conspiracy that I don't even want to get into.
I don't know. I mean that's what they say, man. But hey, at the end of the day, man,
he should not have got that tech. He should not have got thrown out. That was all NBA wanting to have a Game 7 so LeBron could win another championship. That's my conspiracy. No, by all means, Draymond doesn't get thrown out of that game. They win. That is a fourth
definitely, definitely. Like without question, they win.
No. So yeah, I think he could be the greatest defensive player to play. But let's wait a little bit and see some more stats that we get. Let's wait till you're almost retiring. But yeah, I mean, I think even Tony Allen was a great defender.
Oh yeah, definitely. Tony Allen actually clapped back at him as well, which is funny on Twitter.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. I think I can't remember exactly what he said, but yeah, like him and Draymond definitely had a back and forth.
Let's see. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 35, so I'm old. Who was that great defender, if you can remember, if you're old enough to even know? That was for the Spurs. I want to say Bowen.
Yeah, Bruce Bowen.
Bruce Bowen. I mean, he was a lockdown defender.
Oh yeah,
there's been a lot of straight defending players on there. That's definitely in a category of their own. So, again, we're repeating ourselves quite a bit here. Glad he said it because that's just who he is. Is he? That's not an argument to really have right now. Let's just wait a little bit.
Exactly.
Anything else you got?
No, that's it, man. I was happy to be on the show tonight.
Awesome. Go ahead and give us any kind of plug, something to get rid of this March Madness. I forgot to take that off so we can get your.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Twitter
Follow me on Twitter at NickAndreATR. As you all know, if you do follow me on Twitter, I'm very active on NBA Twitter. I might get in some arguments here and there with a few guys, and I'll definitely give you my takes. For those who have been keeping up with me, remember my article series, Forgotten Players, is continuing on this Monday. Obviously, we're going with Fabricio Alberto, so that's definitely a player that, you guys may want to read up on. So, yeah, definitely check that out.
Awesome. And again, thank you for coming on here with me. I can't really say thank you for coming on my show like it's mine. I'm kind of just a fill-in too, so we're two fill-ins here. But follow me on Twitter, MDLawson00. It's also my Instagram. We actually have a new app that we're kind of committing to. It's really fun. It's called Sports Me. It's basically a TikTok for sports. On there, my name is MDLawson00USN, and I say this every time. You drop into the search bar USN, and it should find everyone that's associated with the Internet Sports Network. Go check us all out there. On Thursdays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I co-host Backstop Banter. It's actually my everyday show or every week show that I formerly have. This one has just been a temporary, permanent position that we've been going with, so I'm enjoying it as well. But, yeah, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, Backstop Banter every Thursday. Go check that out as well. Just going to go through these sponsors real quick. Again, we're so thankful to have them. Please go check us out and commit to our Patreon. I say commit to it because we have those different donation tier levels where you've got the $1, where you're basically a fan, Unwrapped Sports fan, $1 a month. 12 months, it's only $12. So you spend that in the fast food every day that you eat out.
Yeah.
$5 a month gets you into the family. I actually think I cleared that off. That would have been so good to have that there. And you get some extra perks on there. You get into our Discord that we have all of our chats. You can't interact with us, but you can see what we say. But if you want to interact with us, pay the $10 a month. VIP, Unwrapped Sports VIP, where you can interact with us on Discord. You also get the 10% off the Teespring merch that we all have on everything we got going on there. And also you can get entered to win the drawing, once a month drawing. This month is David Montgomery autographed jersey. There we go. I about lost my whole train of thought there. So go check that out. The teespring.com/store/unwrapped is where you can find our merch. It's under that page, that window there. Go check that out. Also, we have our rxhemp.com with a promo code rxhemp/USN, and that gets you 10% off your whole order, and that's the whole CDB or CBD creams with the hot and cooling that you can do, icy hot basically. And also mybookie.ag, we have a promo code there, USN100, for all your betting needs, and they will actually match your first deposit up to $1,000. So whatever you deposit for the very first time, $45 is a minimum. They will match that dollar for dollar up to $1,000. And I think that got it. All right, Nick, appreciate you coming on. I had a wonderful time. I actually think we did pretty good for our first time hosting.
We definitely did good. Obviously not as good as Amber, but we tried our best.
Amber was a silent host in here. I mean, he pretty much commented more on things than we even said. So, Amber, thank you for letting us steal your show for a day. I hope you had a wonderful vacation and you enjoy the rest of the week. Dick, you have a good one. And, guys, until next time, have a good day.
Yes, sir.